So I got on a wild hair yesterday on Blue Sky and pretty much laid out my argument on why I think the internet was a bad idea and is currently being run like a Ponzi scheme. And based on my column and in this publication, I published, I think, in October. And and essentially, uh, and I thought for a moment I would do like sort of a mini series on why I think the internet is a Ponzi scheme. So first, a little bit of background. I was walking with a friend um, around the Clear Creek Trail outside of Bloomington, Indiana, today, uh, weeks ago, and we were talking about AI and AI and social media and our young kids and all of this stuff. And eventually, what we landed on was that the internet, honestly, at this point, is a bad idea. And I think this goes back to what Cory Doctorow calls shitification. The internet is pretty much shit. It's basically television at, at its best, and and wildly misleading television for that matter. Uh, so, uh, so essentially, what I sort of jumped to the conclusion is that it's run like a Ponzi scheme, and those of us who remember Bernie Madoff and the 2008 housing crash will can probably see this parallel. I think so. We were initially talking about the Indiana Daily Student, the student newspaper at Indiana University, Bloomington, uh, being censored, canceled from publication, and a guy losing his job over refusing to uh, block the publication of a story on AI contaminating waters in Indiana. The big Meta and Google data centers that are going up on abandoned farmland in Indiana. It's going up everywhere in the Midwest, and farmland that is racked by flooding or climate change. So essentially, we got on that topic because of what happened with the IDS. So I thought for a second I'd define what a Ponzi scheme is for those of you who have no idea. Uh, essentially it's a scheme uh, that features unsustainable growth. One, unsustainable growth is illusion of value or success, and dependency on constant new participation, and for and the whole thing comes crashing down in an eventual collapse when reality catches up with the fact that this is worthless. So when I think about the internet and the major pillars of the internet right now, uh, social media, crypto, uh, sports gambling is kind of a part of crypto and Bitcoin, and AI. There are at least four areas where the internet is run as if those things have value, and they don't. Um, for example, the most obvious example right now that is catching up with the rest of the world is that social media is a Ponzi scheme, right? So it's all about cultural attention, because you give your data and your personal life to a free service because it costs, and it doesn't actually cost you anything except you are the product, and so is your attention. Um, it costs you your attention and critical thinking skills. Like, for example, the 2016 election was blamed on Russian interference on Facebook. That's an example right there. So, there's an illusion of value or success around social media for hearts, likes, saves, comments, thumbs up, whatever. Continually, that drives a dopamine hit that says, keep updating to get likes and comments. We're social beings and we like that. Um, so it asks us to, number 3, dependency on constant new participation to get likes and comments. And finally, number 4, it collapses when reality catches up and it realizes that social media is actually quite harmful to us. And that's why we're seeing legislation across the country banning smartphones and social media use in classrooms, and the rise of digital minimalism. So but really the psychological impact is far worse. You collapse into shame and dismay because of social media, and you're constantly comparing your life with some other people's lives. You wish you were them, or you were as successful as them, or as smart as them. But here's the reality, that those social media influencers are, as Simon Sinek says, freelance employees of an algorithm. In other words, they are a day away from saying something and losing their entire revenue stream. And that sort of goes into the financial issues around the internet right now. And so all that to say is, on a day like today, gratitude and Black Friday, essentially, everyone says that social media is going to bring us closer together, but in reality, it's just driven us further apart. So for Thanksgiving, do yourself a favor. Go and be with real people. Express your gratitude for the real people in your life and not your followers. Okay? Because they can come and go whenever they want. And I mean, so can your friends and your family members in real life. But you're attached, you are wedded to them in a way that is real. And the internet is just TV. So go out there and be with real people. Okay? Have a great Thanksgiving or a great holiday break wherever you are. And thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all. Talk to you later.